The creators of this video are strongly opposed to any unlawful activities. Hi everyone! We are going to extract some music from a Patcher app, learn some useful terms and get a grasp on various investigative tools, so don't switch off. If you are curious about reverse engineering, stay with us. We'll get there in a minute. So, what even is a patcher and why are we looking for music in there in the first place? Well, as you might be aware, as computers and software developed, and may I say rather early on, commercial paid software also started popping up. Mostly this software wouldn't function to its fullest if you didn't pay for it to receive some sort of software keys. And then there were people who targeted this paid software and programmed their own, so that, you guessed it, the target would function to its fullest without them spending a cent. What they did came to be known as cracking the software, and the people who did it would be called hackers, or more preciously crackers. The crackers would either work alone or form teams. Those people and teams have their own big scene, with its good, bad, and the ugly, and a lot of that has turned into completely different things. But that's a story for another time. We'll be sure to tell you all about it as long as we continue producing these videos. So, those crackers would upload their work as either patches or keygens. Here come the definitions. A patcher is a piece of software that modifies its target software in such a way that its functionality is added, removed, or changed. The change is usually something like applying a patch on a piece of cloth with a hole in it, so hence the word. In case of using a patcher to crack software, of course, the main modifications would involve removing the cracking protection, restoring full functionality, and getting rid of the naggy screens, reminding the user they did not really pay for it yet. Sounds like a bad thing, right? Because it is. Don't do it, kids. Now, keygen is short for a key generator, and just as the name implies, one could use it to generate the software keys that the software would then pick up and consider itself paid for and become fully functional. You would normally buy a key just like that from the software creators. In olden times, you'd have to send a copy of an invoice to them with your name and some other data over a snail mail. Well, the users would be able to save themselves from that kind of trouble by using a keygen. So that's it for the terms. Let's get back to it. What is a patcher or a keygen is like in terms of presentation? Well, some keygens or patches would look just like a very bare bones dialog window with some text and added fields on it. But some others would look and feel rather creatively, often with pretty design and, most importantly, original music. The music would often be stored in a special format. Today, we are going to try and extract the music from one of the patches out there. This patcher targets a big photographer-oriented piece of software called DxO PhotoLab Elite 5.2.4732, and the cracker is known as Inevitable. You can always download all the related files from my GitHub, linked in the description to this video. All software used is also there. Now let's run the patcher. Use a virtual machine. There may be malware in these things. The patcher launches, and as you can hear, music starts playing. That music is what we're after. Oh yeah, I bet you're curious about what I just said about malware. So let's upload this file on a useful site called virustotal.com and see something. Shall we say funny? Okay, full disclosure. Even without malware in it, antiviruses don't like keygens or patches much. Some of them detect it and honestly say it's a patcher, keygen, unwanted software. And and some others are augmenting the truth and call them malware, adding a scary-looking code name. Okay, now first things first. Let's use my own software, Detected Easy, on it. This will give us a helpful idea of what the file was made with. As we can see, that's a Diablo 2002's Universal Patcher file. That's an old and well-known patcher creator kit. Now let's look at the file structure. Why don't we start with the entropy? Entropy is a particular property of any block of data, which all files are. If a file is compressed or encrypted, its entropy tends to be reaching the maximum. In Detected Easy, the maximum entropy value is 8. We'll explain in detail what entropy is in another video. So, clearly enough, this file contains a lot of compressed or encrypted data in the resource section. Just to clarify, the resource section in here is .rsrc. Let's take a look at the resources. Okay, we don't care about the various icons and forms and dialogues. Let's find the largest resource with DLL in its name. This resource contains some sort of compressed data. It frankly looks like the payload of something called a dropper. Term time. A dropper is an app that extracts a file that it contains within or downloads it from the internet. It's not unlike a common software installer, a setup file, but the important difference is that a dropper does it correctly. Malware developers love this sort of technology. That's how they could get a virus or a Trojan into your system. That said, though, there is a number of perfectly legal and upright software that store useful things in its resources, like their own drivers. But the antiviruses get really suspicious of it and raise some noise. Okay, back to our mysterious compressed data. We'll assume that it contains other files that the patcher extracts and uses somehow. At this point, you could grab a debugger and disassemble and explore the patcher, learn its decompression, decryption, algorithms, and such in great detail. But we are going to do it much simpler and faster. We'll use a tool called Rekshot. It tracks the changes made on the storage and in Windows registry. So let's run Rekshot and make a system snapshot. Now let's run the patcher. While it's working, we'll make another snapshot. Now to compare both and find the changes it made. These are the files that have appeared and our storage in between the snapshots. We'll copy them to a separate folder. Now that it's very important to make the second snapshot while the patch is running, because the app may clean up after itself before termination. Okay, we're looking for music here. There is a font file, but nothing similar to a music track. It's likely that music of this complexity is in one of these big DLL files. Let's take a look at it using Detected Easy. Okay, so it seems to be a commercial-grade executable file compressor and protector pCompact version 3.02.2. We could unpack that using a debugger. But again, that's a topic for another video. We can simply use ready-made tools instead. One of the pCompact unpackers out there is my own software xWalkCollect. It stands out in that it doesn't use debug API, but instead emulates the CPU and the entire Windows environment. This assures us that any malware that you accidentally launch with it won't get to your operation system. It's also cross-platform and can be run on Windows, Linux, and macOS. Because it's an emulator, we can run xWalkCollect on Linux to unpack a Windows file. So let's open our suspect in xWalkCollect. Let's choose Advanced. Then Analyze. Then Unpack. There's the unpacked file. Let's open it with Detected Easy. And there is something interesting in the resources. The line at the beginning of the resource is a signature of a known tracker module file. It's a fast tracker 2 extended module. Let's save this resource to the storage and open it with a hex editor HXD. The first 4 bytes are the track length, an unsigned integer in Little Endian. The null byte of flex follows, and then the track itself begins. Obviously, we don't need the first 5 bytes, so we'll cut it out. Detected Easy recognizes this file properly now as well. And by the way, may I thank the person nicknamed K who made a unique detection script for nearly all music file formats of bygone and not so bygone times. It's a .xm file, so let's add the extension xm to it. And we can just play back this tune using, for example, xmplay. We are done, folks! Thank you kindly for watching us. We hope everything was clear and made sense. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thanks! Stay curious!